Okay, so I have a question, I have a quick story, and I have a point to make. And I guarantee you, if you listen to this, you will get something out of it. Now, the question is this: will you or are you currently participating in your own rescue? Let me ask that one more time. Will you or are you currently participating in your own rescue? Now, here's the story, and I'm sure some of you've heard this story before. Just pretend like you haven't, because this story truly illustrates my point to a T. Now, there was a man in this town. He was a very faithful, very prayerful, very believing type of individual. And he was in his home one day praying that all would be well. Why? Because they had got a warning in the town that there was going to be a storm and there was going to be a flood. So as he's praying, the storm started. It started to rain. It started to flood, and it was starting to get bad. And a boat came by. The gentleman jumped out of the boat, knocked on his door and said, "Sir, come on, get on the boat. We need to get you out of here. It's starting to get bad." The man said, "No, you guys go ahead and get somebody else. Don't worry about me because the Lord is going to save me." So he went back in his house. He kept praying. He kept wishing. He kept hoping. And he just knew in his heart all would be well. But the storm was getting worse. And the flood water started to rise even more. And they issued a mandatory evacuation from this town. And another boat came by. This time they yelled out, and he came outside as much as he could, and they said, "Come on, sir, it's a mandatory evacuation. You have to get out of this town." And he said, "No, go get some other people. Don't worry about me because the Lord is going to save me." So it got really bad, and the water started to rise. They started coming in his home and started filling up his living room. He goes upstairs in his home, goes out of one of his windows, and gets on top of the roof. At this point, he's the last person left in this town. It looks real dim, and then all of a sudden a helicopter comes, and the helicopter hovers over his home, and they throw down the little ladder thing, and they said, "Hey, grab a hold of the ladder. You have to do it right now. This is your last chance." He waved to him. He said, "No, go on. The Lord is going to save me." Well, guess what? Yeah, he didn't make it. He died. And the story says this. It says that he went to heaven, he met God, and he walked up to God and he said, "What happened? Why am I here?" And God looked at him and he said, "Man, I sent two boats and a helicopter. What else did you want?" And it's kind of a funny story, but it brings me back to the question, will you or are you ready to participate in your own rescue? The point is this, is sometimes we're praying, we're hoping, we're believing, we're doing all of these things. And let me make it very clear, I believe in all of that. I think you should be doing that. But then there's a time to ask yourself, do I have any corresponding action with the thing that I say that I want? Am I doing anything to make these prayers, to make this belief, and to make this faith work? Or am I doing things to keep me consistently and constantly in this same situation? Sometimes I think we can get caught up looking for miracles, not understanding that the miracle is really in the small steps and the things and the actions that you take every single day. Sometimes it's not about what you're waiting for. It's about the things that are right in front of you that you can be using to set you free right now. So I just always say to people, of course, we've heard faith without works is dead. Also, works without faith is dead. So they all go together, but you got to be doing something. And that's just a reality that I ask myself every single day, no matter what I'm hoping for and what I'm believing for. At the end of the day, what am I doing? What type of actions am I taking along with that belief to make it really happen?